I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it, guys. Well, it says I'm going. Here we are again. Ads are not guaranteed. What does that even mean? Which... I don't know. I don't know. Big data analytics. Where are we at, everybody? Rad Tech channel. What are we even seeing? Are we seeing the left screen or right screen? Or are you just seeing my face? Oh, man. Well, look at that. We're a minute in already and I still don't even know what we're doing. I'm going to assume that we just have the face up there. Oh, nope. Hey, look at that. I'm going to assume that we just have the face up there. Oh, nope. Hey, look at that. Okay. Test, test. Can I get a mic check? Tra-la-la-la-la. So, I guess in other words, if I want to show you my screen, see, that's what the other software did that I got tired of paying for. The other software let me show you. The other software let me show you my screen at the same time. Hey, Mr. Allen. So, yeah, man. So this is why I'm not a big radiology influencer, right? I can't even live stream. Where are we at? Yeah. So, how's it going, man? How are things in your world? Good. Cool. Well, for what it's worth, I was talking about management teamwork. 6 days left, dude. That's awesome. Total or just the semester? Either way, that's good news. Let's see if I can minimize this screen. Total. That means you're getting the heebie-jeebies about taking the national boards. Right? It's totally natural, dude, so don't even worry about it. Most people pass their first time around, and if you don't, you got 2 more tries. Don't even sweat it. Yes. I wrote that big fat article. One of the biggest posts I've written is about getting prepared to take that exam, and one of the biggest things is, and I used to do this in school all the time. I would always go and check out where everything was the day before or the night before, because there's so much more peace of mind to knowing where everything is when you get there, instead of waiting till you get there to go, crap, where, in your case, where's the exam, where's the room, that kind of stuff. And Pearson VUE is probably where your test is like the most sterile. It's like checking into prison. It's the most sterile environment, and the people are just like straight faced, and there's like, I don't know, maybe every place is different, but don't even bother with humor. And everybody else in the waiting room is like don't talk. I might leak some information out of my brain. Good. Checked it out. That's brilliant. Yeah, everybody's, and you got people coming out that are disappointed, and other people that are coming out all frazzled and stressed out, and it's not fun. I think it's like 4 hours, if I remember right. You got to empty all your pockets. You got a fingerprint. You get in there, and all you get is a dry eraser marker and a little dry eraser board. I think they give you a basic calculator, and then the headphones. And I always opt for the headphones because Pearson VUE is used for a lot of different exams now. But I always put on the headphones because I went and took, I think it was my CT boards. I went and took the boards for CT, and somebody in the room had the sniffles. And it like it drove me insane. Of course, there was the whole gurgling snot sound with it, which is why I never went into respiratory therapy. I just can't do gurgling snot sounds. So I always got the headphones and put them on and tried to drum out any sounds that I could. Of course, then when you have those things on, you can hear your own breathing and your own pulse in your ears, and it's crazy the tricks the mind plays. So Mr. Green Cup, just finished my prereqs, about to start my rad program, just got a job as a CT assistant. Heck yeah, that's going to help you. So I don't know, I don't recognize the name, but if you check out my channel or my blog, I learned CT when I was an X-ray student. The guy that was my clinical instructor, my CI, was an X-ray CT tech. And that dude, he was an old military guy, Captain James Shepard. He's no longer with us, but Captain Shepard, I think partially because he didn't want to do it himself. He's like, we're going to teach you how to do CT, son. And I'm like, I'm still trying to learn how to do X-rays, sir. So, but by the time I graduated my X-ray program, I kid you not, I got hired as a CT tech. And I sat for my CT boards after my X-ray boards. But absolutely, that CT assistant job will not only teach you about CT, but it'll teach you about the workflow of the department. It'll teach you terminology. It'll teach you interactions with, you'll have a lot more interactions with nurses from the ER and things like that in CT than you do in general X-ray. So, yeah, Mr. Allen's going to go into CT. So I've worked in a lot of modalities, and I got to tell you, so I love X-ray. Don't get me wrong. In fact, I built the whole X-ray YouTube channel and blog, and I mentor X-ray students all the time. X-ray is the base. It's the home base of the whole shebang of radiology. And it's the most undervalued and underrated. We are the underdogs of the entire damn hospital. But, do I owe you a book, bro? Still didn't get that Mosey's book. If you're talking to me, let me know. I don't remember giving away a book. Unless you're just giving me a hard time. You're giving me a hard time, aren't you? I think you are. Anyway, because I give away skeletons, right? That's my thing. Now you may forget what I was going to say. Was it about CT? So CT, yeah, I remember now. CT is my favorite modality for figuring out what's wrong with the patient the fastest. Because you can scan, crown to crotch, we'd call it, in 10 minutes and know what's wrong with that patient usually. And it's so turn and burn so quickly, get the patient in and out so quickly. You didn't have to spend a lot of time with it. So when it comes to really sickly patients, you don't want them hanging around a long time. Where like in ultrasound, you're on them with your transducer for 30, 45 minutes. You're in the ICU gowned up, probe covered, and you're in the goop. CT was wham bam, thank you ma'am, got the scan, get out the door. CT is really cool. I'm really excited about it. I feel like I'm learning a lot so far. My name was okay, so everybody changing their names on me. Gotcha. Well, and I haven't done a video in a little while, so I'm obviously rusty at doing a live because I think I talked for damn near 20 minutes a few minutes ago with no mic on, and it's not the first time I've done it. So anyway, I thought I'd pop on here. The kids all went back to school today, so I actually had the house to myself for a little bit. Of course, it's 3:23, which means they're all going to come strolling in here pretty soon and making a bunch of noise, but Darnell, yeah. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I was popping on just because somebody else that frequents the blog and the Facebook group was asking me about. They're in X-ray school and they're kind of like the class president, and they can't get the class to participate in stuff, and they're like, I don't understand. Why doesn't everybody want to go do things together as a team, and why isn't there more team involvement? And so I said, I can't resist saying it, but welcome to leadership, right? We often go into leadership positions because we care and we want to make things improve, but unfortunately we don't make up the majority. There's a lot of clock punchers out there, so it becomes a constant struggle to get buy-in, and it's certainly something that takes time to build up. Um, can you suggest me which is better, bachelor's in nursing or bachelor's in radiology and imaging technology? Um, well, it depends on what you want to do, Sheik. I mean, both fields are great. Nursing is great, and radiology is great. I've got a couple articles on the difference in the two. Maybe you ought to check those out. But to summarize them, for nursing, it's a lot more hands-on patient care. Nurses really are given direction by the physician. It's like you're handed a daily manual, a daily to-do list. Here's what I want you to do for this patient today, the doctor says. I want you to give him these drugs, and protocol says, if they're unconscious, you turn them every 15 minutes or whatever to avoid bed sores. I want you to run these labs throughout the day. I want you to contact these other providers for referrals and consultations. So nurses are really about follow-up care and following a plan of care. And you're with that patient your entire shift, and often you're with that same patient 3 shifts in a row if you're working 312s. Radiology is about getting your exam and moving to the next patient. Radiology is about short-term time with the patient. It's about solving a piece of the puzzle. The doctor says, here's my patient with a bum hand, x-ray it, see if you can tell me what's wrong with it. And so we x-ray it, we pass that to the radiologist, he looks to see what's wrong with it, and he tells that doctor what's wrong with it. And that's how that process works. So there's a big difference between nursing and radiology. If it were me, I would stick with radiology. I think nurses have to deal with a lot of garbage, but they're also pretty well paid. So there's that. I like radiology also because of the multiple career paths. Nursing, you got nurse anesthetist, nurse practitioner. Radiology nurse is kind of a subspecialty, but kind of a nurse is a nurse is a nurse in a way. I mean, I'm not discounting what they do, but the career ladder there's a lot fewer rungs on the ladder versus X-ray. You can go to CT or MRI or ultrasound or nuke med or IR or mammo, or I mean, there's a plethora of things, and then most of those subspecialize even more. And every time you subspecialize, you make even more money. So you may go, say, into, I don't know, interventional radiology, which makes, a good $8 to $10 more an hour over X-ray. And then after being there, you could go into a cardiac interventional suite, or say you go into ultrasound, then you can go into pediatric ultrasound or echosonography, and then pediatric echosonography. You want to make some big bucks, learn how to do ultrasounds on neonates or pediatrics, and then specialize in the cardiac or cardiac echo. But that's up to you. I recommend radiology, but nursing is always going to be needed. There's always going to be jobs for nursing, and so there's that. How do you deal with the stress of the registry, Darnell? I think pretty much you just succumb to it is what it is. My method, which worked for me, and I did it multiple times, and I wrote about it in that article. My method is to set a week aside prior, just before the exam, and go to that place and study from 8 to 5, and I go to a library. I pick a room where I can sit by myself with closed doors with a big eraser board, and I take my laptop and I cram for the week prior. Now that's after having gone through the 2-year program and studying along the way, and there's a lot of methods to studying that I go over in that article. But at the last minute, because I'm still stressed for that last week, I'll go cram and kind of relearn everything. And so I get up, I have a decent breakfast, I make sure I got a good night's sleep, and then from 8 to 5, I don't let anybody or anything else disturb me. I study all day long, and then the nighttime, I go back home, I be with the family, and then the next morning I get up Tuesday, go do the same thing. So Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, in an enclosed room with no distractions, just cramming. And then I go take the exam, and like you said, check it out the day before, make sure you know where it's at and all that stuff. But you've got to just kind of come to an understanding that you've done everything you can do, and no one study method covers 100%. Like RadTech Boot Camp, is one of the best ones out there, but there's no guarantee that that's everything. So mine was Appleton Lang. I just studied. We didn't have RadTech Boot Camp and all that stuff when I went through. I did Appleton and Lang's. It came with a CD, and it had 1,000 board exams on it. I mean, board questions. And I think I did 150. I broke it down over those 5 days. So if that meant I had to memorize 150 questions a day, that's what I did. So I would study that material, that 150 questions all day long. I would quiz myself, and I'd continuously quiz myself until I got the correct answer. And then once I got the correct answer on all of them, then I would go to the next 150 questions. But I would also take time to go back and review. And again, that's in that article that I wrote. I could probably bring that up. And I think you're not quite past that yet, Mr. Allen, because you're still in school. So you still have, depending on how far out you put your exam, you could still do this method. But let me just go grab it and post it in the comments section for you. And again, once my kids get home or one of them calls me to come pick them up, I'm going to hop off. But let's see, where's it at? Maybe if I do Control F and pass. There it is. How to pass your ARRT board exams. And Mr. Allen's kind of been with me for the duration. I think you and I were talking before you even got into X-ray school, if I remember right. 5 days after you graduate and you're 6 days out, so you're 11 days away. So, depends on how you feel. You could just take some sample tests, like on RadTech Boot Camp, that kind of thing. But in that article, How to Pass Your ART Board Exams, I cover a lot of different stuff from maximizing your study time using the Pomodoro technique, which is studying for 20 minutes and then getting up for 5 and breaking loose, and then sitting back down for 20 minutes and cramming and getting up and breaking loose, because you can't just hammer for 8 hours. You will lose a lot of that. The retention will suck. Studies show the retention will suck. You have to go for 20, take 5, break, go for 20, take 5, break, and that's how you retain more of it. But go through that article again and just see if there's anything you didn't notice last time or anything that might help you out. But your overall question is, how do you do with the stress? You just got to let it go. You got to know you got 2 more shots. If you mess it up the first time, you got to know you've studied your butt off for 2 years. Have some faith in yourself. 330-something thousand other people are already registered and they passed it, so the odds are you'll pass it. So just kind of take it with a grain of salt, do your best, and go from there. For CTIVs, how long did it take you to get good IV placement? I actually was a phlebotomist first, so I did venipuncture for almost 10 years before I went into X-ray, and so I got really good at doing IVs way back then. So you just have to practice, and you can get rubber arms. So schools have them. We used to have a rubber arm. I remember. I think it was the hand all the way to the shoulder, but they could hook IV bags of dye up to it. They had red and blue dye, and so you could fill that arm up with the arterial and venous colors, and practice sticking it. But I didn't have any issue. You just have to practice. And you have to go slow, and you have to not panic. You have to realize you're going to see blood, and some blood's going to come out. And just, prep your area. Take it nice and slow. Do 5 of them in front of a nurse or something and get comped off. In the Facebook group. Yeah, that Facebook group has really grown, hasn't it? I mean, I think we're at, 6,000 people in there now. I love going in there and seeing, I'll get a message, an alert that says somebody has posted a question, and I'll go and check it out, and there's like 6 to 10 answers already by the time I get there. I remember back when I was the only person answering everything, and now there's so much. It's so awesome. People can go in there and post a question and get multiple answers from multiple states, multiple modalities. That group has really grown, and it's something great. So Anyway, I don't know that I'll have time to really touch on what I was going to touch on, but it was about just, you know, like you guys are getting ready to go. Well, one of you is going into school, one of you is going into the workforce. You're going to have negative people, and you're going to have positive people, and you're going to have neutrals. They're the clock punchers that I've even had rads. They're like, we had a Halloween party one year, and we were at somebody's house, one of the doctor's houses, and a work subject came up, and one of my newest rads said, I don't want to talk about it. It's work related. We're not at work. I don't want to talk about anything work related after hours. And I'm like, I mean, I can kind of respect that in a way, but we kind of are radiology. I mean, that's what I do for a living. I talk about it outside of work all the time. I'm doing it right now. My wife's an X-ray tech. We talk about X-ray. We talk about protocols. We talk about different types of exams or whatever. I don't know. That's your neutral people, and it's not your place to change their mind. It's not your place to get them to talk about it outside of work. They are who they are, and it is what it is. I tend to gravitate around people that nerd out on radiology and like to talk about it. I'm in this great group right now with MRI Man and your X-ray tech and some other people who are big radiology nerds like me, and we're meeting at least once a month on a Zoom call to talk about radiology and social media and how to grow channels and that kind of stuff. You're welcome, Chic. Fabiola, I think I've seen your name on here before too. I have a PMA Institute interview tomorrow. May God be with me. God knows how much. Yeah. So hopefully you've seen all my posts about PMA. You know, I'm a graduate from PMA, and I've done reviews of the program. I've talked about how they work, how to get in. A lot of my knowledge of the interview process is from the PMA process because I graduated from there. My wife graduated from there. My stepdad graduated from there. My mom used to work there, not in X-ray. It was another program, but I know a lot about PMA and how they operate. I'm on the board for their online bachelor's program. So you'll be treated right at PMA, but every school is different, and what's important is your clinical rotations. That's really where you learn how to do what you do. But Mr. Allen, can you remember the last X-ray? Yeah, I can. It was in 2021 during COVID. Kids are home, so I'm going to run. You guys have a great day, and leave me some comments if you want me to pop back on here. I can probably even do it tomorrow if you're interested. So take care. Make sure you visit the blog, hit the thumbs up, give me some YouTube love, and y'all take care. Hey, how was school?